Thank you everyone for joining. I see a few more people trickling in, but it is the top of the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for being here. This session is going to be recorded, just so everyone's aware, and everyone who registered will receive a copy of the recording tomorrow. So just want everyone to know that. My name is Megan Martinez, and I work with NewsBank as part of the customer engagement team. And our team really focuses on working with libraries with website placement and visibility of resources. We get into marketing and promotion materials, and then we also help with product training. So it's my pleasure to be doing this training today on Asian Life in America. And we're going to be covering the full Asian Life in America collection. We'll go over how to use it. We'll get into some search tips, product features, and then I will show our Asian Life in America Resource Center. And I'll be answering any questions from the audience during the session and also at the end. So if you have any questions while I'm going through anything, please enter them into the chat feature. And the icon will be on the left side, or it should be on your left side of the screen. And it just looks like a little chat bubble. So I will get to as many of those as I can, but please know that we will be reviewing all questions after the session. So if there's anything that I'm unable to get to, one of our other customer engagement reps will be answering all of those questions by email in a timely manner. So also my contact information and resources that I share are going to be available in the handout section, which you can download anytime or at the end. So let's go ahead and hop in. I'm going to share my screen and go off camera so that you guys can see. There we go. So just as a quick overview of the Asian Life in America collection, it covers over 35 million primary sources and documents. And we have comprehensive coverage with documents about Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, including Chinese, Filipino, Japanese, Korean, South Asian, and Vietnamese coverage, as well as many, many others. So this is a really, really great collection, and we're so excited to get it out to our customers, and we hope that you love it just as much as we do. So when patrons log in, this is where they're going to go. So this is the Asian Life in America homepage. And you'll see we've got a nice big search box here at the top. And then down here at the bottom, we have this really great suggested search timeline. So we'll be getting into this timeline a little bit later. But a lot of times when patrons log into a resource, they're going to start with the search box. So that's where we'll start today as well. So just to begin, I'm going to do a blank search. So I'm not going to put anything in the box. I'm just going to go ahead, click search so that we can see all of the articles included. So here we go. You can see we have over 37 million, results. So lots and lots of content here. It's a huge collection, tons of coverage. And anytime that a patron does a search in this search box, this is the page that is going to show up. Of course, it will be different articles depending on what they search, but this is kind of what it's going to look like. And there's tons of things that you can do right from this search page. One of the best things about this collection is the many, many ways that we can narrow down our search to find exactly what we're looking for. So the way that we do that is going to be on this left side in this filter section here. So anytime we do a search, it's always going to populate with the newest articles first. So you can see we have one from May 1st even here at the top. But we can also change that to be as best match, or we can go to oldest. So just for curiosity's sake, I'm going to click on oldest. And now you can see some of the oldest articles in the collection from 1704. And then getting more recent. So yeah, huge coverage here. So I'm going to go back to newest. And then we have this date selector. And there are a couple different reasons why I really like this date selector. For one, it's just a really easy way to narrow down a time frame of articles that I'm looking for. So if I only wanted to focus on the 1900s on, I could do that here by sliding this bar. And whenever I'm searching something specific, it also gives me kind of a way to see how that topic trends over time. So once we get into the suggested searches, I can show that a little bit more. But you can see how there are some years where we have a lot more articles and then we have, less. So that will also change depending on the topic that you're searching. So it's cool to just see how topics trend over time. If I were to enter, Japanese internment, then I could see when articles about that got popular and so on. So I really like the date selector. I can also search specific dates. If I have specific dates that I want to look within, I can do that here. And then I can filter by source type. What's great about these Life in America collections is that similar to America's News, it's not just newspapers. We have audio files. You can see we've got blogs, journals, magazines, transcripts, videos even. So lots of different media sources, which is really great. So if I were only looking for videos, for example, I could click this video option here, and then it'll only give me videos. So I could narrow down by that. I could also pick a specific year if I wanted to. I can search for source name. So if there's a specific newspaper that I'm wanting to look at, I can choose that here. I can also filter by location. So you can see a lot of our articles are from North America, but many from Asia, of course, Europe, Australia. So I could narrow down that way as well. And then I can filter by language. And again, a lot of our articles are going to be in English, but these Life in America collections feature lots of other languages as well, because of course, news isn't only happening and being reported in English, it's going to be reported in many other languages too. So you can see we've got Spanish, Japanese, lots of other options there. So if you do have patrons or if you yourself are looking for resources in primary Asian languages, you can do that here, which is very cool. I can also filter by era. So you can see we have some suggested years. You can see immigration protest to Muslim ban. So that would be 2006 to 2017. I can look at the Crazy Rich Asians era to today. So I could kind of narrow it down that way as well. And those are going to mimic the suggested search timeline back on the homepage. And again, we'll get into that a little bit later as well. I can also filter by presidential era. So if I'm looking for resources on a certain period of presidential years, I can look that way as well, which is really helpful if you're looking for political information, things like that. So that's kind of how we would narrow down our searches here. And then there are also lots of really great tools right on this page that we can utilize as well. So you can see up here where we saw our 37 million results, we also have this save search option. So if I have entered a search term here and then I have narrowed it down to fit the dates that I want, maybe I narrowed it down to the era that I want, whatever my filters are here, I can then save this search. So if I click on this, it will ask me to create a folder. And it's super easy to make a personal folder. If you have done it in America's News or Access World News, it's the exact same process. I'll just enter an email address and a password, and then this will set up a personal folder for me to save articles and searches to, which is really, really nice if you're doing ongoing research or if you would like to see articles that you have found at work or at a different location, if you want to look at those at home, um, this is the way that you can do that. So let's say I make this really detailed, great search. I can save the search and come back to it later. So I don't have to do all that hard work of narrowing it down again. I can just save it and go into my personal folder and search that same um, criteria again. And another thing that's great about saving the search is that it will populate with any new articles that fit my search. So if I'm searching something, recent that the news may be reporting on today, if I come back to that a week from now and I go into my personal folder, I do my save search again, anything that's been published that fits my criteria is going to show up in that save search. So it's not just going to be the articles that I saw that one day. It will repopulate with anything that fits my criteria that has been published within, from the last time I searched it to today. So that's really great if you're doing anything from present day. Then we also have this create alert button. So similarly, if I'm doing research on a very recent topic, I can create an alert for myself. And alerts will be sent to my email anytime that an article has been published that meets my search criteria. So I could enter my email here, and then I can select the frequency that I want this alert email to come. So if I'm like really gung-ho about this search, I could have it come 4 times a day, 2 times a day, or I could have it come once a day, once a week. And this will send me emails again if anything has been published within my search criteria that I set the alert for. And also, if nothing has been published, you won't get an email. So we're not going to spam you with 4 emails a day. Only if something has been published that meets the search. So that is the alert option. Then you can see some of these tools here up at the top of the results page. And so let's say I've done some research. I'm looking really quickly for a patron, and I think, oh, maybe this article will fit. Maybe this article works as well. Then I can come up here and I have a couple different options right from this search page. I can cite these articles. So I don't even have to go into the article to get a citation for them. I can click this cite button, and then I can copy any of these citation that I need. So let's say I wanted the APA citation for those, then that will populate the APA. I can copy, put it into my research paper or whatever I need it for. I can also email right from this search page. So again, if I'm doing research for a patron, I'm trying to go quick, I've got a lot of patrons piling up. I can select a few of these articles and then email them to the patron. So I would just enter their email, I would enter mine, and then I might enter a little message about, hey, I was doing some research, thought these might fit what you were looking for. Let me know what you think. So I can do it super quickly from this search page. I don't have to email each individual document or go in and read them. I can just pick a couple, send right from there. I can also print. So this can be helpful if I'm wanting to print multiple articles at a time. I don't want to have to go into each article and print each individual one. I can pick several from this page, and then I can print from here. So that will print those. I can also include a citation if I need. And again, lots of different options for citations. And then I can also download articles. So I could save these for later, come back to them. I can also include the citation in my download. And then I also have an option to save them to my folder. So if I don't want to save the entire search, if I've narrowed down which articles I need, then I can just save those specific articles to my folder, come back to them later. So lots of really great tools here, really great if you're going quickly. I can also, let's unselect these. I can also look at a preview. So if I'm not sure if this will work for what I'm looking for, I can preview it, read a little bit, and then I think, oh, maybe this will work, and I can view the full document. So when I go into a document, it will look like this. Again, if you have America's News or Access World News, this will probably look familiar. This is what our text edition articles look like. All of the same tools offered up here that you'll find in America's News. But really quickly, we can increase the text size, which is helpful if I'm looking on a phone or a tablet. I can cite from this page as well. And I do have a couple of additional options within the article. So back on the search page, I could copy the citation information, but within the article, I can also export the citation to some other citation tools. So these are popular, like in colleges, for example. Students that are doing research will export their citations to one of these third parties, and they'll kind of make the citations for them. So I can export to those if I want, and then I can also just download as well. I can email this article. So if I just wanted to email this one article to a patron, I could do that from here. I can also print, I can download, and I can also download to a Google Drive from within the article as well. So if I don't want to download, let's say I'm a patron working at a library computer, I'm not going to want to download this article to the library computer. I could save it to my Google Drive and come back to it later. I can also save it to my folder. I can copy the link. So let's say I'm doing a social media post for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I have found this article that I really want to share with my patrons. I can copy this link up here, and then I can put that directly into my email that I'm making or my newsletter, or I could put it on my social media post. Whatever I'm doing, I can get this direct link. And what's great about this direct link is that when I add it to my social media post or my newsletter feature, it is an open URL. So anyone who clicks on that article, or on that link rather, will be able to access this article. So you don't have to worry if you have people that follow you that maybe don't have a library card, or whatever the situation is, everyone will be able to access this one article with that link. So that's really great. I also have a share to Google Classroom option. This can be helpful if you have teachers that are wanting to use this resource, or if you have a big homeschool community, that can be a nice option for them. Then we also have, I always like to mention this text-to-speech option. So especially for patrons that are maybe learning English, or they may have a visual impairment, this text-to-speech feature can be really helpful. So this will read the document to me, and it will also highlight the words as it's reading it. So I always like to mention that because it can be helpful for some patrons. So let's go back out to the main page. So that's kind of what the search feature is going to look like. And then before I jump into the suggested searches, I'm going to look and see if we've got any questions from that. Okay, we've got a few. Let's see. I have Black Life in America and Hispanic Life in America. Is the search functionality the same? Yes. So if you have any of our other Life in America resources, this will probably look familiar. We have done all of our Life in America products with the same interface. So if you know how to use Black Life in America, it'll be super easy to jump into Asian Life. Again, all of the features are the same. So yes. This next one, how can I see what countries are covered? Oh, that's a great question. So like I mentioned, we have lots of broad international coverage, and a great way to see what countries are covered in this resource is with our map search. So you can see we've got the big search box here, and then underneath you'll see more search options. there's a date search, and then there's a map search. So if I click on map search, that will take me to, if it'll load, that'll take me to this really nice map page. So let's say I'm only wanting articles from Australia. I can narrow it down. So I could click on Australia here, and then it will take me to a map of Australia, and then I can see what's covered in Australia. So let's say I want to look at sources from Fiji. I could do that. I could look at the Marshall Islands. You can see we have one source from there. Um, so this is a great way to see what countries are covered within each section of the world. Um, Lots and lots of sources included here. So if I go back to world, let's go to Asia. And then you can see all of our Asian sources here. Bangladesh, Hong Kong, India, lots of sources from India, the Philippines, Russia, South Korea, Taiwan. So map search, really great option if you're looking for specific regions of the world, or if you're just interested what's included from different regions. Let's go into, let's say I'm looking at Cambodia. I can search in Cambodia, and now you can see I have over 5,000 results from Cambodian news sources. And I can see, started in 2000, going all the way up into current day. And then I could narrow it down by source name. So you can see the different news resources from Cambodia. So that's really cool. So let's go back out to the main page. And now let's get into the suggested searches. So very similar to Black life and Hispanic life, we have the suggested search options here. And this gives us a really great timeline of Asian history. So our product development and editing team have created these searches to help patrons if they're doing research on different topics. This will kind of help you narrow it down. So we have somebody that wants to research Asian history but doesn't know where to start. This can give them a jumping off place to begin with. So what's really awesome is that you don't have to be an expert. I do not have to know a ton about Asian history to use this resource. This can help me figure out what I might be interested in, what years I might be looking for. Yeah, you definitely do not need to be an expert to use it. Super beginner friendly, easy for everybody. So you can see we start here at the beginning, arrival to the transcontinental, sorry, difficult word, railroad, and we go all the way into present day. So this will cover basically everything. And one of the ones that I like to show first, let's see, we've got this Anime Wong to Pearl Harbor attack. And you can see when I click on an era, then over here on the right, it will narrow it down for me even further. So now I've got this date selection, 1922 to 1941. And then I can see some suggested searches for, some of the arts that were happening at that time, some of the court decisions that occurred during that time. I can look at labor and notable people. So this will kind of give me an overview of what was going on during this period of time. So if I go into arts and entertainment, you can see this first option here is about Anime Wong, which a lot of people will probably recognize her name. So when I click on this, let's say I think this is interesting, I want to look into this further. I can click on this, and this will take me into a pre-populated search. So we have done the hard work for you. The search is already made. You can see our search terms there, narrowed down by dates, and then you can see all of the articles that populate for Anime Wong during this time period. So we have over 900 results about her. Um, and just the same way that I narrowed down my search at the beginning, I can narrow down this search as well. So I could customize this even further if I wanted to over here on the side. So like I was mentioning with the date selector, it's cool to see how topics trend over time and when something might have been getting popular and then kind of dropped off again. So you can see for Anime Wong, a little bit was going on in the 20s, but then really popped off in the 30s. So it's just kind of interesting to see how that happens and then dropped off in the 40s. So a lot of our historical documents are going to be image editions, which is so cool. So I'll jump into this first one really quickly. And this is what it's going to look like. Let me zoom out. So when we're doing a search with specific search terms, what's great is that when you go into these articles, it's going to highlight those search terms for you. So if I only care about Anime Wong, I can just look for these highlights. I can read this article and then I don't have to get into the rest. But if I want to, it is really cool because these are the image editions. So you can see like all of the ads, cool pictures, really, really neat. So this is the article on Anime Wong. And we've got a few other options when we get into these image editions versus the text editions. So up here at the top with our product tools, I can search this image edition. So if I wanted to search for other things besides Anime Wong, I could do that here. So I could search the whole page, or I could search the issue if the whole thing is included. I also have this clip option. So some of you may have used this in America's News or Access World News if you have access to image editions. And this will allow me to select a clip and print or download it. So if I'm doing research and I want to use this article on Anime Wong, I can select this clip so I can resize it how I need. It goes all the way down. Let's say I just want to this photo. So I can resize it however I need, and then I can print, and it will only print that clip, or I can download and it will just save that clip. So really nice if you don't want to have to save the entire page or print the entire page. I can just kind of save what I need. And also very nice for images. If I'm looking for certain images of somebody or something, I can just clip the image and print or download. So really cool. And everything else is going to be very similar. I can still email, I can still cite, download and print. I can save this to my personal folder, all of that good stuff. So Anime Wong is a really interesting search. Another one is this model minority to Joy Luck Club. We have some really great, let's see, notable people. Arts and entertainment. So, especially during Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, a lot of libraries are doing book clubs and featuring Asian authors, which is really, really awesome. So, a very popular book that lots of libraries like to do book clubs on is Amy Tan's Joy Luck Club. So it's cool to go into here and be able to see what the news and the media was saying about it when it was released. So we could go into this Joy Luck Club search. And then we could read some of what people were saying at the time. So really interesting to tie our book club books into history. So you can see 1989, lots of people were talking about it. So I could go into those articles and read about Amy Tan and the Joy Luck Club. And I could use that to kind of frame, if I'm running the book club, for example, I could go in here and do a little bit of research on its origins and, again, what people were saying. And then I could bring that to my book club to kind of frame the book before we start talking about it. So let's go back. You can also, so we have some historical books, right? But a lot of people are going to be doing book clubs on more recent. So we've got Crazy Rich Asians that we could read about and bring to our book club. We've got Yellowface, which was really popular this year and last year. We've got Ocean Vuong, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, which is personally one of my favorite books. We could read about that one. Our Missing Hearts. So lots of recent options as well. And probably a lot of the popular books that are published by Asian authors are going to be featured in here. So if you don't see it in our suggested searches, you can always try doing a search, seeing what you find. Really interesting to read about. Let's say I wanted to look at Pearl Harbor if I'm doing historical research. I could go in here and let's see, I could read about Pearl Harbor. Um, Lots and lots of different options for any type of research, any type of contemporary or historical, you're going to find it in here. So that is kind of covering this suggested search timeline. Let me see if there are any other questions that have come in. Let's open this. Okay, I see a few more. If there is a topic I'm interested in and don't see it listed, can I request it to be added? Yes. So if you're going through this timeline and you're looking for something and you don't see it, please feel free to reach out to us. We welcome all suggestions and feedback. We would love to hear what you think should be added. So feel free to reach out to me or your sales rep or your customer engagement rep, whoever your contact for NewsBank is. Let them know. Let them know what you're thinking, and they can forward it on to our product development team and make that suggestion for you. So yes, we welcome any feedback that you guys have. So now that we've kind of gotten into the resource, we know how to use it, we know what it looks like. I wanted to jump into a few engagement strategies. So it's one thing to just have the resource, but we need to make sure that we're letting our patrons know that we have it, right? If patrons don't know that we have this resource or what's included, they're probably not going to use it, right? So I always like to mention ways that we can market this resource to our communities, let them know what's included so that they can start using it. So a really great place to start with that is with our marketing resource center. So if you go to our website at www.newsbank.com, this is what our website looks like. And if we scroll down a bit, we're going to go past these graphics here, and then we'll see this How We Help section. And the very first option here is the Marketing Resource Center. So when I click on that, it's going to give me several different options, and we'll just click on Public Libraries here. And then you can see our Public Library Resource Center. And we have a few different options up here that everybody can use. So getting started with your resources, the monthly social media posts, some of our videos and online tutorials, and then our summer reading resource centers. So then when you scroll down a bit, here's where you can see all of our different resources here. And for today, we'll go into the Asian Life in America Resource Center. And this is what it will look like. So lots of great tools here available for you. And I love to show these because it's really great to be able to come in here and grab stuff on your own and not have to ask somebody for it, wait on it. If you need something quickly, this is a great place to go and be able to get stuff. So first option here is the Asian Life in America web graphic. So anytime that you're going to add Asian Life in America to the website, to the library's website, we always encourage our libraries to put the graphic next to it. This helps increase visibility. Patrons are going to see this graphic and want to click on it. Much easier to see than just a hyperlink. And what's great about these web graphics is that I can use it really anywhere I want to on the website. If I feature some of my databases on my homepage, I could use it there. If I have a homepage slides that maybe I put different promotional stuff in, I could use that in my homepage slides and promote it there. I could put it in a social media post I'm doing. I could use it in my newsletter. Lots of different ways you can use this graphic. So don't feel like you're only limited to posting it right beside the resource. Really, any way that you need to use this, you can use it. And, some libraries have bulletin boards or TVs that they do different promotional stuff on. You can use that there too. So lots of different options with this. And then we have the product description. So if you need that for any reason, that's included there. Then we have a couple of different ways that you can learn more about Asian life in America. So we have this Asian Life in America PDF that really goes into detail about the content. So if somebody is asking like a detailed question about it, if you want to learn more about, where does it come from? What time periods does it cover? What's in it? This is a 6-page document that kind of covers everything. So can be nice to have on hand or help you answer any additional questions that you might have about it. And then we have this search tips PDF. And I like to mention this because we have lots of libraries that like to print this off and leave this, near the patron computers or at the reference desk. This can give patrons or staff even an overview on how to do good searches. So if you have somebody that is, unfamiliar with using a database, or maybe they haven't used a lot of databases in the past, or maybe they're unfamiliar with, Boolean operators or different ways of searching, this gives a really great overview, really easy to understand on how to do searches. So nice to have on hand. Then we have a couple of different ways to promote Asian Life in America. And this first option here is our Asian Life in America social media posts. So these are really great because they're already made for you. So a lot of us are busy doing different things at the library. We don't always have time to write a big long social media post about all of our resources, right? So these kind of do that for you. These are already typed out, ready to go. All you have to do is insert your library's login link. So whatever link that you're using on the website for Asian Life in America, you'll just copy and paste that and insert it here where it says link. And then your patrons, when they click on it, they'll be able to log in just like they do on your website. So whether that's with a library card or some libraries have proxies, whichever option that your library has, they'll be able to log in just the same. And then we also have the graphic included here as well. So several different post options here. Then right underneath that, we have our monthly social media posts. So similar to the way those Asian Life posts looked, these are pre-made every single month, but they feature more seasonal topics, general articles that patrons are going to find interesting. So you can see we have several of our past post decks here. So I'll go into March just to show you and give you an idea. So you can see in March, we had posts about Women's History Month. Lots of libraries were doing programming on that. We had posts about Fred Rogers' birthday, World Poetry Day, St. Patrick's Day. So just, seasonal stuff that's going on that month. We like to feature author birthdays. This is an example of one of those posts. So you can see post is already written out here. And the monthly social media posts, they have links included. So these are open URLs, kind of like we talked about before. So, excuse me, anybody who clicks on this link is going to be able to access the article. They don't have to log in. They don't have to have a library card. They can log in. They can click on this and see this one article. So don't have to worry about that. And we also have graphics included as well. So you can see we were talking about Barbie. Lots of fun stuff in March. So those are the monthly posts. And we do also have a monthly social media mailing list. So if you'd like to be part of that and receive the social media posts every month directly to your inbox, you can sign up here. And then every single month, you'll get an email with the next month's posts. So we try to release the posts in the last week of the month so that you have time to plan for the next month. So you'll have them a week early, usually, and have them ready to go. That is the monthly social media posts. Then we also have a social media toolkit. So if you're somebody who handles the social media for your library and maybe you haven't done a lot of social media promotion before or you're newer to the position, this is kind of a best practices guide to help you learn how to do that. So it's going to give you some tips and tricks on promoting resources on social media. Then we also have our printable bookmarks. So these are really great. Lots of different ways you can use them. We could pass these out at upcoming programs, especially if you are doing anything for Asian History Month or any type of program like that. We can also include these in new library card sign-up kits, keep them at the circulation and reference desks for book checkout. And you can see here we've got our Asian Life in America option. So when I click on download bookmark, this is what the PDF is going to look like if it'll load. Excuse me. So here's the PDF. Just print it, cut them out, ready to go. So those are really great. And again, if your library subscribes to any other products from us, we have lots of different options here. So you may be able to use more than just the Asian Life one, but all of them are together here. Then we have some press release options. So if your library likes to advertise in the local newspaper or TV stations, stuff like that, this has a couple of different press release options to help you write those. And we also have some NewsBank logos if you need them. Sometimes libraries will add a NewsBank icon on the library computer homepage or like desktop. So if you need that to create a desktop icon, they're there for you. One other thing I wanted to show, if we go back, so back on the main public library page, if we go up here to this online webinars section, this has one of our latest webinars that we did on America's News, Access World News. But if I go up to the top here and I click on this big videos, this will take me to a library of all of the tutorial videos and webinars that we've done in the past. You can see we've got some webinar options, and then we also have lots of really short how-to videos. So if I go up here at the top and I search for Asian, you can see we have a couple different videos on Asian life in America. So we have like an overview of it, and then we have a quick tutorial video on how to use it. So these are really great to share with staff if you have staff that need to learn about the resource. Posting this overview of Asian life on social media can be good. And then we also have lots of libraries that like to link these tutorial videos on their websites for patrons. So if you want to do that, you can. So when I click on that video, I'll come to this page. And then if I click share, I can copy the link for this video. I can copy that link, post it on my website next to Asian Life in America, and then patrons can use it, to learn how to use Asian Life in America. So that is the Resource Center. One more thing I did want to mention is whenever we're thinking about adding this resource to our websites, there are so many different places that we could place this. This can go under a history page. This could go on our news page if I have other newspapers linked. Hopefully you have America's News linked on your news page. This can go there. if I have a biography section, or even a homework help option. High schoolers a lot of times write research papers on historical events, and this may be helpful for them using primary sources. So lots and lots of different places we can place this to help increase its visibility. So anything that you think it may be applicable to, um, go ahead and add it there. You can't have it on too many pages, in my opinion. It just helps to increase visibility and get you more usage on this product. So that was everything that I was planning to cover today. Again, if I did not get a chance to answer your question, one of our customer engagement reps will be getting back to you shortly via email. So no worries if I didn't get to it, somebody will get back to you. And I encourage you to take a moment to download the documents in the handout section so you can refer back to them. And if you have any trouble downloading them, just let us know and we're happy to send them over to you. So thank you everyone for a wonderful session. We hope it was helpful and gave you some ideas on how to use the resource and market it to your patrons and your community. So as you log out, you will see a brief survey. Please take a moment to let us know your thoughts on today's webinar and how we can improve for future sessions. We would love to hear what you think. So on behalf of all of us at NewsBank, thank you so much for spending your time with us today, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.